World of Aircraft Glider Simulator from the World of Aircraft team aims to deliver a focused and bespoke flying experience, where the type of flying dictates exactly what you will find in the sim. This iteration is all about gliders, motorised, sailplanes and the tow aircraft, which gets many of them in the air in the first place. I was provided with an early access preview review key for this game, and I've been flying in it for the last week or two, and I can immediately confirm that Glider Simulator feels realistic, looks great and sounds incredible, and as such the immersion and the realism levels provided in this sim are very high right from the very start. Hello and welcome, I'm 𝗦𝘂𝗽𝗽, and it is my goal to provide to you the most honest, fact-based critical reviews on YouTube. If you find this review helpful, then please hit that like button, subscribe, and help to support the channel by donating via the links below. Thank you so much, and enjoy the review. The tutorials are very clever in that they progressively add more complexity in small iterations, meaning that literally anybody can pick up and fly a glider within just a few minutes, depending on how quickly they can adapt. Right now there is a small but varied selection of aircraft on offer, ranging from sailplanes, which require a powered tow aircraft in order to get them airborne, and there is the hybrid 𝗦𝘂𝗽𝗍𝗔 𝗬𝗍, which is a bit of a pig to fly, and to be honest, it's a bit of a pig to glide. It's not a scratch on the vastly more impressive 𝗦𝘂𝗎𝗏, which has a centralised retractable prop engine, which allows you to launch yourself, and once retracted, is agile enough to perform aerobatics at your leisure. World of Aircraft Glider Simulator is specialised, and it will appeal only to those interested in gliding. The potential here then is that a community can flourish, and like-minded people can meet, chat, and even transition to and from the real thing. The entire experience is realistic enough, I think, to allow professionals to practice manoeuvres, and because you can aero tow in multiplayer, it could also potentially be a great tool for teaching beginners prior to taking a real flight. However, World of Aircraft Glider Simulator is not without its issues and limitations. Like I say, I've been playing the preview version, and I would hope that the vast majority of the issues that I have encountered will have been fixed before release or very soon after. The intention behind World of Aircraft Glider Simulator is to keep the costs low, so there is of course a potential financial barrier here, restricting what features will be added and what long-term support the game will eventually have if sales don't meet expectations. Unfortunately, only time will tell on that front. That was heavy. Right now, the manuals are only available via the Aerosoft forums, and in order to get access to them, you will have to create an account. When I looked, they weren't there, but it seems a little unnecessary in my mind. I think they should be available locally. I'm sure this will be something that's fixed or addressed pretty soon after release. Launch winches don't currently exist in the game, but they are set to be added at a later stage. And, rather more concerningly, I've had consistent controller issues whenever I return to the game. It seems I have cascading input overrides and mixed input configurations, which require a full rebind each time I fly. Now, I fly with a mixed HOTAS system via a USB hub, so this might be a configuration for you to avoid. The game has crashed to desktop on me twice, There seems to be no replication here, so I suspect a memory leak or bug within the system. Now, it's not uncommon for beta releases, and I suspect that they will be identified and quashed pretty quickly. For stability though, I've been running a solid 4K 60 FPS with literally no stutters. Now if you go and watch some of my videos, you will see stutters in the video themselves, but that was an OBS issue. The actual game is stutter free, and if you watch my more recent videos or my live stream, you will see just how smooth and clean this game runs. Unfortunately right now there is no support for head tracking, nor does there seem to be any real impetus to suggest that there ever will be. The game is so immersive already. I think adding head tracking will definitely add more immersion to the experience, so this is something that I really hope they reconsider. The same applies to VR support, but obviously with even less likelihood of it ever materializing. Despite there being multiplayer support, I don't believe that you can fly in tandem even if you're in a two-seater aircraft. Again, if it's not included at release, I hope this is something that's added at some stage in the future, as it would really bolster immersion and the potential for tutorial and training opportunities. Unfortunately, during the pre-release version that I've had, I have not had access to multiplayer at all, and I certainly think this is an area where this game will most likely excel. The map itself is quite realistically based on the 𝗏𝗏𝗃 airport on the borders of the Rhine River. It's close to 𝗦𝘂𝗃𝗍 airport, which I believe is included, but I've yet to discover. It's a 50km² area in total, and the ground modelling and textures are, on the most part, very good. Not quite Microsoft Flight Simulator standard, but then that's way ahead of the curve, and who can really touch them right now? This game certainly competes with the likes of X-Plane 11 and any similar flight sim like that. There are tens of thousands of trees, houses and commercial buildings, all placed realistically according to the real-life airport. There's a 30cm ground image which provides a perfect backdrop for the area, and in some areas this looks great, in other areas it looks a little bit less impressive. As you reach the limits of the map, the texture quality really drops off rather suddenly. There's a significant line where you can see what has been modelled and what has not been modelled. Now I've tried to fly past the extremes of the map, and I've not had my flight reset yet, but I imagine there has to be a limit as to how far outside of the map you can actually travel. That being said, 50 square kilometers is quite a distance, and you can happily fly for an hour or two without really having any issues whatsoever. The simulated atmospheric conditions are also quite impressive. Thermals are indicated by birds. This is a feature that I wish we could either turn off or adjust, because there are just a few too many birds in my opinion. But, having said that, this is a nice and natural way to indicate thermals, and I quite like it. Thermals are actually quite well simulated as well. Max thermal heights do not appear to be mentioned anywhere, but I've managed to cap out just before 10,000 feet, and it would appear that thermals only begin sort of around the 300 to 400 meter mark. Thermal models are based on real-life flight test data, and thermals will emerge and dissipate with time, and they can also get blown away with the wind. Wind direction and velocity can be controlled. It's not exactly dynamic, and in the early access version that I have, I've had some strange behaviours when I put the wind speed up to maximum. This is something I think could definitely be improved upon, but at least it exists. Velocity gradients increase and decrease across the upstream of a thermal, which means you can feel which side of your aircraft the lift is highest upon. This results in some turbulent effects, again with some really great audio accompaniment, and makes it feel very realistic. You've also got windsocks and ground traffic, including shipping. They're all animated to a nice degree, and overall it looks and feels pretty realistic. For me, it's the audio which makes this feel so authentic, closely followed by the flight model and handling itself. I really do feel that this is going to be a great addition to the glider fanatics arsenal. And if you are a real life glider pilot, then I would be really grateful if you could just share your thoughts below, as in my mind, despite not being a pilot myself, I really think that World of Aircraft Glider Simulator has really hit the mark and will impress most pilots. It's sensitive and responsive, yet it feels heavy and realistic. Everything about this sim really does feel spot on, and it's an absolute joy to fly. World of Aircraft Glider Simulator looks great, it feels right, and it sounds awesome. Please hit the like button if this review has helped you, and do leave me a comment below. Thank you so much. Take care of yourselves until next time. Goodbye.